All right, let's talk about something that gets thrown around a lot in the corporate world. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're going to cut through the noise and really get into why, for any modern board of directors, this is way more than just a buzzword. It's actually a business imperative. Let's dive in.
So let's kick things off with the question that always seems to pop up, right? Is all this DEI stuff just something for the HR department to worry about? Something to handle with hiring practices and training days?
The answer to that? Not even close. For any board that wants to be effective today, DEI is a core part of governance. Seriously, it's woven into everything, from the company's grand strategy and how it manages risk, all the way to creating real, long-term value. This is about steering the ship from the very top.
Okay, so to really grasp the board's role here, we have to be speaking the same language. Let's break down that acronym, DEI, and get past the jargon to what these words actually mean.
First up, the D, diversity. The easiest way to think about this is the mix. It's about having a whole variety of people in the organization. We're talking different backgrounds, life experiences, ways of thinking, you name it. This is the raw material for smarter ideas.
Next, we've got E for equity. Now, this one is so important. Equity is not about treating every single person the same. It's about fairness. It's about recognizing that people don't all start from the same place, and they face different obstacles. The goal is to level the playing field so that everyone truly has a fair shot. And that brings us to the I, inclusion. Honestly, this is the secret sauce. This is what makes all that diversity actually work. You can have the most diverse group of people ever, but if they don't feel safe, valued, and actually heard, you're leaving so much potential on the table. Inclusion is all about creating that sense of belonging.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? A board can check the diversity box, sure, but without inclusion, people's voices are lost. And without equity, they don't even get fair access to begin with. Good governance means you have to be working on all three of these, all the time.
All right, so we've got the definitions down, but let's get to the bottom line. Why should a board, which is focused on shareholder value, make any of this a priority? Let's dig into the actual business case.
Well, the reasons are pretty compelling, and they're all about strategy. Boards with diverse perspectives are way less likely to fall into that groupthink trap, which leads to better, more thought-out decisions. Plus, it brings the company in line with what everyone, investors, customers, employees, expect today. It's also a huge part of managing risk. You can spot blind spots you'd otherwise miss. And get this, it's not a cost center. It's a genuine driver of new ideas, new strategies, and real growth. And hey, don't just take my word for it. There is a ton of hard data on this. Big studies, like the ones from McKinsey, have shown over and over again that companies with more diverse leadership just plain perform better financially. The takeaway here is pretty simple. It's not just about doing the right thing. It's about doing the smart thing for the business. Okay, so let's get practical. If you're a director sitting in that boardroom, what are you supposed to actually be looking for? How do you go from, getting it to actually doing something about it? This next part is your field guide.
Think of this as your high-level dashboard. For board composition, you got to ask, do we have the right mix of people to really challenge management's assumptions? When it comes to culture, look past the numbers and ask, are all these different voices actually being heard? For governance, are there clear goals and are you tracking progress? And this is a big one. Is DEI baked into the company's strategy, or is it just sitting over there in an HR silo? And finally, you have to watch out for the risk of tokenism, where you have the diversity in numbers but zero real inclusion.
Theory is one thing, right? But what does this look like in the real world? Let's take a look at a couple of examples that show what happens when the rubber meets the road.
So check out this great example of a proactive board from School's First Credit Union. Look at what they did. 1, they made DEI a regular part of their strategic planning. It wasn't just a one-off conversation. 2, they looked in the mirror and did a gap analysis to see where they needed to improve. And 3, they put real resources behind it, a whole board-level committee and outside experts. That, right there, is what ownership looks like at the board level.
Now, things are also changing out there. This chart is fascinating and kind of telling. It shows this really steep drop in how often big companies even mention DEI in their official public filings, just between 2022 and 2024. What that reflects is a trickier political and legal climate, where companies are getting a little more nervous about what they say publicly.
So, what's the lesson for a board looking at this? It's that the real work can't just be about press releases and public statements. The stuff that matters, the internal systems, the culture, the strategy, that has to be solid no matter what you're saying on the outside. True commitment is measured by what you do, not just by what you announce.
Which brings us to the final and maybe most important question of all. How does a director make sure this is all actually helping the business and not just becoming another corporate box-ticking exercise?
Here's an actionable checklist you can take right into your next meeting. Ask for a real DEI dashboard with actual metrics for the board's eyes. Make sure the charters for your key committees spell out their role in DEI oversight. Go check if DEI-related risks are even included in the company's main risk framework. Constantly ask management to show you the link between DEI work and business strategy. And finally, keep everyone honest by asking if what the company says in public matches the data on the inside.
You know, when you strip it all away, it really comes down to this one powerful question that every single director needs to be asking. Is what we're doing on DEI making us a better performing company? Is it helping us innovate? Is it helping us serve our customers better? Or is it just a tick box? The answer to that question? Well, that'll tell you everything you need to know.